Alright, hi everybody, this is A7X Fan Ben, and welcome back to the hourly campaign. So this is part number 7, and I've got YouTube up, YouTube Live seems to be working, that's all set, and we're on turn number 2, so I'm going to try to keep track of the turns, and I've got the faction in parentheses there, so I'm on the English. So last session was the first session where I started playing, so I got through the first turn, and the next 2 faction turns after that, so the French and the Cursed, you can see them there as I scroll by. And now I'm on to the English, who explored their home island on their first turn. Zoom in one time, and then see what they got going on here. So the English got, I think, 1 negative UT, or no, that was the Cursed, I guess. So English got all positive UTs, so basically the King's Cove has rum, so she can't be given an action this turn, and then the King's Heart has same action twice, and Helmsman, so we'll see how fast she can go this turn. First die roll of the night is a 4, so no same action twice. So they don't really know where they're going, they're just going to try to go and find some gold and whatnot. But I think what I'm going to have the King's Heart do is dock. I'm not going to move the full movement segment there. I'm just going to go 3 S's essentially, or parts of them. And then she's going to dock at the southern part of the island to be in optimized position to sail out next turn towards actual wild islands in the unknown waters of the ocean here. But in the meantime, she's going to pick up these UTs that I think should be on the King's Heart, not the King's Cove. King's Cove has a couple 4S cannons. King's Heart has 3 3S's. So these more combative type UTs are going to go on to the flagship, and that's the English turn. So they only 1 action to give. So that's their turn 2. The Vikings are still sailing towards this island here. Not sure if they're going to make it their home island. Frost is going to go pretty much due west, just about. And she doesn't have a helmsman yet, so she's going pretty slow. Oh, they see an island up there in the north, so maybe they might check that out, but I don't know that they'll want to make that their home island. So we'll see. They've yet to decide on that. And then the Dutch are up next after them. This is a little harder because they've got 5 ships with various base moves. So they're pretty much going to head. They're not going to split up too much quite yet. We'll see what they do. They're just going to feel out the area and not get into any kind of splitting up, at least not right now. Reachker is SSL. Got the music mix up as well that I left off on from, I think it was session 5, I'm assuming, or hour number 5. And this one plus S with no cargo, so this one is moving LS. The Dutch have 5 ships. All of them are moving at L plus S or faster so far. Alright, and then the Corsairs. You can see how fast the turns go when you've got very small fleets and not much going on. So it's kind of nice. Eventually it's going to slow way down, which is, the more interesting part of the game when you've got combat and launches and more strategy and whatnot. Got a kind of a lengthy exploration phase has just begun, of course, at the beginning of this game. And the map is pretty large, quite large, really. I think it's 6 by 6 ocean tiles wide by 4 high. It should be, I'm pretty sure. Just like CG4, Tangier does have a helmsman. They see this island up here, but they don't like it. They look east a bit. They see what looks like maybe a whirlpool, so they don't really like that either. So the Tangier is not too impressed with the north and east, so she's going to go kind of northwest with her final segments. And that finishes up the Corsairs for the turn. And then we get to the Jades, who do have a decision to make here. The Sea Panda not only is within docking distance of this island, she also is an explorer, but actually, like I said last time, they don't really like it because it's got a reef attached to the island, so that's not a great candidate for exploration. So they're gonna sail on by. They're splitting up pretty heavily, actually. I think the Jades are just gonna go every which way. The Tiger Lily, she's got to be careful not to explore that island there. So they don't want a home island next to all these reefs. They're going to pass on both of those. And the river crystal is moving S plus S, and that's it. Oh, she gets, okay, so ship gets plus S to her base move when she's within S of an island or a land, and I purposely didn't say at the beginning or end of a move action, so it's at like any point during the turn. So if she's within S, yep, she's within S of an island right there, so she's going to get the bonus here to finish out her move action, although she's kind of going north more than east, but anyway. So Jade's kind of sailing in from maybe a somewhat disadvantageous position, but it's going to be a long time before I can even say with certainty if a faction has like a good home island location or not. So just because a faction gets a home island early doesn't mean it's a good position to be in. So we'll see, and we'll see if any factions kind of regret their decision later on in the game, but we'll see. All right, so Spanish are next. The Pacifica has a helmsman, so she used S Explorer. She's got that ability built in. That's why there's a token. But I made a ruling where you have to actually dock at and explore the island. You can't get a home island just from S exploring, which actually benefits the Spanish here because they market explored, but they're going to continue onward to try to find an actual home island. Hoya Briante is S plus L speed. So she's going to go west actually and check out this island and the whirlpool near it. The Pacifica is going to go kind of north. Yeah, she's going to go north this turn, and then she can kind of spot that island to the northwest. That one actually looks pretty solid. There's no terrain like attached to it. The whirlpool is not like right next to it, so it's actually a decent location for the whirlpool. The Spanish like that island. So, but then we see this other fleet up here, which is the pirates, who might be looking at it as well. So, and I made a post on miniature trading a while back about how Spanish and the pirates are like the two factions that have been at odds with each other the most in any of my games, like over the long haul. Like since 2011, the Spanish and the pirates have maybe the fiercest and or most frequent factional rivalry in my games in general. So kind of ironic that they randomly started in the same southwest corner, and now they might even be looking at that same island for a home island. We'll see. Pirates, though, are still quite undecided. So the pirates actually kind of like this island. They're right there. Trying to think. Yeah, last turn the Brigands Nation couldn't quite get there, I think. And then, oh, she doesn't have an explorer either. She does have the Lost Genie of Arabia, a unique named crew. So I'll roll for the nationality ability. Okay, so it's a 5. Okay, so this is the first time I get to do this ability. So on a 4 through 6, this crew's nationality changes to a random nationality in play. Roll a d6 to determine the new nationality. If the ship is captured, this crew changes the nationality to match the faction in the capturing ship. So they won't even bother rolling for EA because it's going to be a different nationality, which means that the crew can't use its ability on a pirate ship. So I think, all right, so I've already thought about this. You could use die rolls to determine this, but I'm going to go to the random number generator, and there's 10 factions. So actually, I'm going to go based on the faction numbers in VASSAL. So the Dutch are number 11. The mercenaries are number 7, I believe, but they're not in play. So 7 and 8 are out. The mercs and pirates cannot be chosen. So it's Viking, I guess. So this is weird. I guess I'll grab a Viking crew ship and just put it like on top. So the Lost Genie has had a change of heart already and wants to be a Viking. So they can't even use the EA ability. That's why he's only 3 points instead of 5. But anyway, so the Brigands Nation, no chance at the extra action. Oh man. Yeah, the pirates have a big decision here. Looking at the round earth, I guess they can't really see that other side, but whatever. Yeah, it's mostly just open ocean over there because there's round earth rules. So they're kind of trying to look behind them to see what's on the other side of the map. which is basically just the Dutch sailing away from that area for now. The pirates can barely spot both of these two islands here, so they're actually kind of impressed with this location. And then they've got a shipwreck there, which they don't know has gold, but it does. They know they don't want to settle the island in the north because there's reefs attached to it. And then the southern island, I think what they want to do is scout this more southern island. They can't see the Spanish yet. They can kind of glimpse the island, but can't really see much beyond it, if anything. So yeah, I think the pirates, they're not going to dock at this island yet. They might make it their home island, but they're not going to make the decision quite so hastily. So they're going to sail both ships towards that island. And once they get there, they might split up. The Black Crow might head south, Brigham's Nation might head east to try to find out if that's a better location than the one they see that they're just passing as of now. So, alright. Now we got the Americans who have split up in completely opposite directions. So this one is the USS Stellar. She's going to look across rounders because it's right there. So when she sees a few Viking ships sailing away, not many islands. And yeah, having an island like right on round Earth would be really awkward. So I don't think that's a great location there. So the USS Stellar is just going to continue onward for now. She's going to go kind of southeast. On the anchor, oh, this is a deceptive bounty, so she's going to go due east. And the anchor is going to go pretty much northeast. She does have a helmsman, so she's moving 3S at this point. And now, before I forget, I'll probably forget at some point, but alright, so now I'm on turn number 3. And I don't know which faction I'll leave off on, but I'll leave that parenthesis there, just so I try to remember to actually write down which faction I need to start with next time. So the French are just spreading out. We saw them going in pretty much opposite directions, somewhat similar to the Americans. And we've got the Wisp here, who has the cross. Okay, that's what I thought. Cross Coronado. And she's got Plague, which is going to be really interesting to see what happens there. And then Barrel of Monkeys. So quite the interesting UT mix. So she's got the fog hopping ability. She's actually going to pop into a fog bank right now. And next turn, she might pop out, and we'll see where she ends up. And it should be this session, so that'll be quite interesting. So basically, the Cursed are trying to use the Wisp as a dual like scout and also like a suicide attack ship with the Plague aboard. So we'll see what happens. She might get captured though if she tries to. She makes contact with an enemy ship. She won't be pinned because she has galley, but it's a risky ploy. They don't want to lose any of their ships this early. and they might piss off a faction right away, which could also be a bad idea. But that would be pretty typical for the curse, so it wouldn't be a total shock. Alright, Defeated Killness doesn't have any crew either. So she's only moving L. It's got like a crew capture ability, I think. Oh, not quite. Yeah, it's not a very good ship, but it's kind of weird. Alright, so it's a curse turn. They probably have the most interesting position so far, because they already have an island. And they've got a Foghopper with Plague already, so the curse already making waves, already in an interesting position. So, alright, so the English are next up, so I've completed a round of turns, and the King's Heart is going to roll for her built-in same action twice ability first, and she gets it. Nice. That's the first time that any ship in the game is going to get an extra action of any kind. Whew. Alright, so, and she's fast, so she's got VASSAL, and then she has Helmsman and Explorer. So she's moving SLS times 2. So we'll see. I think the King's Cove might head due east. They didn't see any islands to the west as they were sailing in, so the King's Heart is going to start sailing pretty much due south, at least for the first move. And then for the second move action, she can see maybe to about there. So she does see this island here, so she's going to go over and check that out. Not sure about exploring it, but she might as well. Probably not going to find more Plague, but you never know. So, alright. And then, oh yeah, of course, the King's Cove already has rum. So she's going to redock, and the English are going to be the ones with the first gold of the game. And it doesn't come from resources, it comes from the rum unique treasure. So 6 minus the number of crew on the ship when rum was loaded, which in this case is 4. So the English get 4 gold, and therefore they could launch actually if they wanted to, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think the only 4-point English ship is the Patagonia. But anyway, alright, so that's there. Yeah, they're not going to launch anything yet. They're going to try to get something else going. Patagonia only has S speed, and she wouldn't have a helmsman. Actually, you know what? They might do that, because the King's Cove has a helmsman, so she could give her helmsman to the Patagonia. So they actually are going to do that. I forgot to get the spreadsheet up. There we go. Alright, that was easy. And I'm just going to look up Patagonia in the database. Still used to using MT. I gotta get used to using the master spreadsheet more. Hopefully MT will survive a bit longer, but who knows at this point. Alright, so the Patagonia. So on turn, this is only turn number 3 of the game, and due to rum, the English are already able to launch. So that's pretty great for them. So they're off to a good start. Quite a good start, really. And I already know the King's Cove is going to give up her helmsman, probably not for Explorer. And she has an island ability too. Plus S to base move, she begins a move action with an S of an island or enemy ship. Similar to the River Crystal, not quite as good, but she's got really fast base move. So with a helmsman and that ability, she can move 5S. Alright. So Patagonia is a really nice, cheap ship. This ship is often used for the English with Robinson, Bratley, who is their 0 limit ransom plus 5 crew, allows you to add 5 points to the build total. 4 for the faction. And then sometimes Lord Micron comes aboard with Robinson to give up the ship's action kind of indefinitely, which is a pretty broken mechanic, but certainly effective. Okay, so Patagonia, get her deck plate out there. So they immediately spend the rum, essentially, and the helmsman will be transferred to Patagonia, and the English with a brilliant second turn, or third turn, I should say. So they got SAT. They look like they might be one of the first factions to explore a wild island for resources. So they've already got a home island, and then they also get the first launch of the game. So pretty nice. I'm actually gonna make a quick little note about that, because if I don't do it now, it might never happen. So first launch HMS Patagonia by the English. Okay, so I'm getting all these tabs up. I probably don't need that anymore. I don't know if I'll need these, but I'm just going to move them over here where I want them. So I'm only about a third of the way through. That's good. Okay. And if that's not me that's watching the stream, then thanks for tuning in. Feel free to ask any questions in the thread. I try to check the live stream once in a while throughout the stream. Sometimes it might be like 10 or 15 minutes before I remember to recheck it. But anyway, I'm on turn 3, and the English have had a great turn here. So the Vikings are next, though, and the Khartoum and the Frost have basically discovered this island, but they're not finding anything near it, really. Although there is an island to the north. So the Vikings might actually settle this island. They may just do that. Oh yeah, they can probably just barely see land to the due south as well. I think the Vikings are gonna set up shop here. I don't think they're gonna keep sailing towards the center. I think they're just gonna explore it. So I think the Khartoum's captain is basically gonna signal that to the Frost. So she's gonna go ahead and go and try to explore this island for resources in a couple turns from now. Or it might take 3 turns because she's slow right now, no helmsman. But anyway, not the curse, but the Dutch, they are not slow. All their ships are moving SSL or faster. They might split up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. They've got the most ships of any starting fleet, so they might as well split up. I think the Dutch are finally going to head in different directions a little bit. This one is triple S, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be tough to remember all the movements of all the customs and the abilities and stuff like that, but that's part of why I want to play this game, get to know my custom set better, start to test out some of the pieces, or not really testing. I mean, this is a pretty grand stage for testing purposes, but also a good stage because I'm the only player, so I can control whatever happens, no disputes over what something should cost. So if a custom is overpowered, the faction will just pay like retroactively with extra gold or whatever to make up for the whatever I decide the new cost will be. And they can kind of see this island to the west of them, but it looks like it's attached to something larger, so they're not so sure about that one. If they got a bunch of one masters, they could probably make a killing going to this island in the middle. Because the island in the lagoon there, I'm pretty sure, I remember that's one of the islands that will produce gold, but it can't be settled as a home island as a result. But having a home island near all those reefs is still pretty dangerous. They don't really know the cursed are out there, but they can kind of plan ahead and hope that there are not L movers, but multiple factions might launch L moving game pieces with the abilities that move enemy ships. So the Dutch have to be pretty careful about that kind of possibility, home island near reefs. But anyway, they keep sailing, and then the Corsairs with their galleys are also going to keep sailing. Pharaoh's Legacy is going to go investigate this island off to the west, and the Tangier is going to keep going northwest. Let's see what she can find. Okay, so the Tangier is kind of the first one to kind of really come upon this lagoon area with the Sargasso Seas attached to it. So you can't settle the island in the lagoon. Nobody would want to anyway. And then that's a reef under the fog bank. That would be kind of weird. Okay, I think that's there for a reason though. So I'll just leave it. Anyway, and the fog might roll, so we'll see. But But yeah, the Corsairs don't like this other island because it's pretty much surrounded by terrain. So Tangier might actually go through the whirlpool, especially because I'm not seeing anything beyond it. There's a lot of open ocean there, so we'll see. All right. Part of the reason I didn't want to do more islands though is because then the factions would have too many wild islands to pick from. You want to have good rule of thumb for playing is you want to have at least some scarcity of islands available in terms of the total number, because if there's too many islands, you're never going to fight over anything. So people are just gonna be like an endless arms race to get as much gold or resources as possible. So it's good to create a bit of scarcity that will help to make the game more exciting. So and the Jade Rebellion is next. So they've passed on this island because it's got a reef attached to it. And the River Crystal was within S of the island at the beginning of her move action, so she gets plus S to her base move at any point during the turn. She doesn't have to be at the beginning or end of a move action, just in general. So she moves 3 S's. Tiger Lily only 2 S. She doesn't have any crew, no helmsman. Sea Panda has a helmsman, so she's 3 S's every turn. But they still haven't really found a place they liked yet. Like I said last turn, they've kind of started off in a weird spot in terms of where they sailed in from. So the Pacifica doesn't really see anything directly due north or east of her, so she's going to head northwest and investigate this island here. And then the Hoya Briante is going to keep going this way, and she's going to go check out that island, at least see what's around it. Not that they'll settle there, but kind of an interesting spot, because that island would be close to a whirlpool. It'd be close to this island, which they would need either small gold runners over the reefs or large ones over the Sargassos to consistently make trips to. And the Spanish can't tell yet, but that one is actually connected. It's actually a double island, so it's the same island on the other side of round Earth. So it'll have the same resource. It's the same island. I purposely did that in CG4 as well in that map. So that's really interesting. And there's also this island too. So this island here that the Hoya Briante is headed towards, they don't really know it yet, but that could be an interesting home island possibility for the Spanish. So especially if they don't get this one, because the pirates are headed there too. So this is really fascinating. There is a chance that the pirates and the Spanish could already have like a dispute like almost immediately. Right now it looks like they can almost see each other pretty much, so I would say they're almost definitely going to be the first factions to meet. So we'll see if that's a friendly meeting or not. So that's going to be interesting already. So that's good. I'm glad it's not going to take like 10 or 20 turns for factions to find each other. So we'll have at least one meeting tonight, I think. Probably next turn. Or at least they'll see each other next turn and decipher who it is, even if they aren't able to talk or whatever. So, and unlike the Caribbean and World Games, I'm not really paying attention to like a ton of finer details in terms of like languages spoken on like certain ships, things like that. Like that's not. This game is pretty casual, and it's going to be kind of more wacky, but at the same time a little bit more normal with less like formal rules than the Caribbean and World Games. So there's not going to be. I'm not going to worry about like if the pirates speak Spanish or not. That's not really why I'm playing this game. So that's more, the World Game and Caribbean games. That's where get bogged down in like formal rules, and like there's going to be a lot of like, I don't know. Those games are just way more complex than this one will be. So anyway, so the pirates just went. Oh, I forgot though. I got to do the Lost Genie of Arabia. So I'll roll for his effect. Okay, so it changes again. So I do need the random number generator again. I should have thought of that. So once again, the Lost Genie is going to change factions about halfway through the stream here. So number from 1 to 11. So now number 10 is the number that's out. So 1 to 11. 8. Oh, that is perfect. So 8 is the pirate's number. So he's back to being a pirate, which means they can roll for the extra action ability right now. So he's back in business, but he doesn't get the extra action. So the pirates are done after all. Alright, so I'm going to get a drink then. Looks like the Americans are just going to keep sailing, so anyway. Alright, so the French and the Americans pretty much kept sailing. Bijou de Nut, the French ship, they've spotted an island to the south of them that they're definitely going to investigate. They don't see any terrain surrounding it, so they like that. The Cursed are next, and this is going to be really interesting. I also don't really, I don't know. It's hard for me to just pretend that I don't see the rest of the ocean. That's what we're doing in the Caribbean game, and what I guess we would do in the world game, but this game's really not like that. So the Wisp is gonna be able to pick any fog bank she wants on the map to pop out of. So anyway, I've already shown a picture of the whole map anyway, so anybody can find it or whatever. Or you've seen it. Well, you saw me build it because I streamed the whole map building process. All right, so this really puts into perspective how huge the map is, which is really fun. So the Wisp is up here in the due north area, center north. So she sees some ships around here. So what I'm thinking about is the plague, of course. So if she gets within triple S of a ship as her base move, and then makes contact with a ship, she'll take out all the crew. But the problem is she might get busted and captured right after that. So the Curse really don't want to lose any ships this early, especially a fog hopper. They can be really valuable. So unless she finds like a one master with crew on it, there's not much value in going after a faction right now. The Khartoum would be the target, I guess, the Viking 3 master, but she that would not be a good idea. So I think the Wisp is gonna do something else instead and just go to an island and try to see what's on it, basically. So I don't know if they're gonna go. They're not gonna go in the middle yet, but they're gonna go close to the middle. I see an island I like. So the Wisp is going to fog hop right now, and she's gonna pop out right there. So let me go zoom in and find her again. So she's gonna pop out close to the archipelago in the middle, which is pretty exciting. The curse might be the first to find that just because of the fog hopping ability of this one ship. So on her next turn, she may use her move action to move out of any other fog bank in play. So that's what she's doing right now. Sometimes there's a little bit of lag when zooming in sometimes, especially with a big map with a lot of stuff on it. Usually not as much when you've already zoomed into that same level during the same session. So like if I was already at this zoom it's about to go to, like if I was already at this zoom earlier tonight, sometimes the lag will be less. But anyway, so not too bad. So she's going to roll for exit location, and she likes the location a lot. So she gets a 1, which is right next to the island. And then she's going to dock at the island, basically. She could just use the Cali keyword, basically, to just swing in there. But anyway, and the reef is not going to damage her anyway, because she can't roll a 0 to lose a mast to the reef. So no issue there. But she doesn't have an explorer, so she is just going to have to wait to find out what resource the island produces, and of course what unique treasures are on there, because there's 3 coins. So hopefully I'll find out tonight. So now I kind of want to hustle to get to their next turn, just because I'm really intrigued to see what they'll find. Alright, anyway. So I wanted to do that ship first, just in case you did try to dump the plague onto some other faction's unsuspecting vessel, but they've decided that's a little too risky, even for the cursed. It's definitely not a good idea. Because the Wisp, not the Wasp, that's an American ship. The Wisp could actually be a really good early game gold runner for the curse. It could be key to establishing some connections to various islands that are way far away from their home island. So their other ships are just exploring, and they're just trying to find stuff. The Opal Shrine definitely sees this island, so she's going to explore that in however many turns it takes her. But now I'm on to the English, who are going to start their turn by rolling for the built-in SAT of the King's Heart, and they get it. So that means they're going to explore this island right now. So the curse will not be the first to explore a resource wild island, because that's the first move action. The second move action gets the King's Heart to this island, and that's exciting because now she's going to explore it. She also has an Explorer. Neither UT is relevant. It's multi-banner in the letter of mark. So here we go, about to explore the first island. So first, WI exploration English with King's Heart. And coincidentally, the English are my favorite faction. Not necessarily rooting for them in this game. I'm kind of just rooting for all the factions. So I'm just rooting for a lot of excitement and action, of course. So the King's Heart is going to explore. I'll roll for the resource in a second, but I really want to see the UTs. Opal of Opalaka. So that one, I think, is from Captain Mike, I'm pretty sure. When unloaded at your home island's treasure's worth as many gold as the number of masts on the ship that unloaded it. Okay. That's pretty cool. They're probably not going to launch any large ships like a 5-master to increase the value. They won't really have time, I don't think. Oh. Alright. Aztec Medallion. So roll a d6 and a result of 1. All gold on this island is removed from the game. And then there's rats, which is not good. Here we go. Oh, 2. Nice. In Vassal Campaign Game 1, I rolled a 1 on Aztec Medallion. Pretty sure it was with the Spanish. But, so, alright. So Aztec Medallion is going to go to the northwest with the rum. English are already having a lot of UT adventures early. And then each non-unique treasure is worth 1 fewer gold when unloaded. Rats cannot be unloaded. So that one is going to affect the resource, I guess, the resources, I suppose, in some way. I'm not sure how yet, but anyway. So those 2 are going to go on the ship's deck plate in a second, but now it's time to roll for the resources of this island. So this is the first resource roll of the game. I'm using the Economy Edition rules as laid out by Cannon Fury, or at least for the resources and for some of the other stuff. But anyway, so first resource roll of the game is a 6, which is luxuries. So that's cool. And now that means I also have to do the overall resource rolls right now, because I don't actually know how much luxuries are worth. So let me just get the 6 out here. Okay. Yeah, so the English are actually pretty far into the Wow, I might even be able to select the coin. I'm zoomed out too much. Alright, so English are pretty far in the northwest corner, actually. Alright, so even more important than the luxuries roll is the economy edition roll. So, as per the rules, I'm using a 2d6 roll, not a d20, because there's no d20, or at least not in the Pirates module. That you could, I'm sure you could do that in VASSAL, but if you made your own module or whatever. But anyway, so now that we have a resource roll, we have to determine what it's worth. Usually you would do this at the beginning of the game, but I didn't want to have to decrease the timer for a bunch of turns. This is only turn 4, I guess. Actually, yeah, I need to record that, don't I? Okay, I'm going to do this. At least I'm pretty sure it's turn 4. Hopefully I'll remember. And actually, I'm going to write down like the resource duration, everything like that. So I'll roll for that in a second. Resource. Actually, I should do it right below the turn number. I'm kind of figuring this out on the fly, but that's part of the live nature of this game. Everything is going to be documented, basically. So resource roll, resource duration. And I might make a small spreadsheet with this type of stuff, or a table or something, but I'm not sure yet. So anyway, okay, so resource value roll is going to be the first one. So it's a 6, and we'll go see what that means. Sometimes I have this table borderline memorized, but not right now. So on a die roll of 6, luxuries are worth 1. So the English, not a good resource, but who knows how long it'll last. It might only last a couple turns. So on a roll of 6, rolls of 5 are the highest. So spices and food are the most valuable resources right now, but we gotta see how long it lasts for. So I'm gonna roll 2d6 to determine how many turns that value duration is for. So 3 and 1, so only 4 turns. The luxuries might increase in value by the time they get back home. So hope that's what they're hoping for at least. And I'm gonna move the UTs away a little bit. Trying to think, I guess it doesn't really matter too much where I go. I'm gonna put those there, and then the resource stuff is gonna go over here. I'm just gonna do a 4 coin. And although the resource rolls just happened during the middle of a round rather than at the beginning with the French turn, I'm just going to have them reset. Like the French are the first faction to go, so I'm going to reset it to 3 turns left at the end of the American turn, right before the French take their 5th turn. So 4 turns. That's not really going to affect any of the factions. Even the English might not affect them really, so there's going to be a change before almost anything happens. Okay. Alright, so I gotta remember to do the token. You can see how fast the game starts to slow down, because there's all sorts of stuff to do as soon as you start exploring islands, getting into UT shenanigans. There might be some UT rules hangups, like early on, who knows. So I'm gonna zoom out, get the Aztec medallion. Basically back to the UT pile. I'm not deleting the UTs because at some point I'm probably gonna reinstitute some of them, or like reintroduce some of them. I just don't want to delete them because I might need them later on. And there's another reason I want to keep them too, but we'll find that reason out in the intermediate future, I suppose. Okay, and there's almost no cargo. I forgot about that. So no, I don't think any of these don't take up space. Rats can't be unloaded, but that doesn't take up any space. Let me just make sure here. Knights of Malta banner. Letter of marque doesn't take up space. So although the ship has 2 crew and 4 UTs, none of the UTs take up space, so there's still 1 spot left for 1 luxuries, or 1 luxury. So face-up coins represent resources, so if it was face-down it would be gold, but since it's face-up, it's a resource. So the King's Heart has 1 resource aboard along with all the UTs. So then the Opal of Opalaka is worth 3 from the King's Heart, at least right now. So anyway, but it's also exciting because they have a new ship. They've got the first launch. That's cool. And the King's Cove, this ship gets plus S to her base move. She begins a move action with an S of an island or an enemy ship. So she's with an S of an island. So she lost her helmsman, but since she gets that ability this turn, she's still going to move 4s total. So a very fast ship, potentially one of the fastest we'll see in this game. King's Cove is off to the races. Patagonia is the opposite, only S, but she does have a helmsman now, courtesy of the King's Cove from last turn. So she's going to head south for now and check on the King's Heart, make sure she's doing all right. That's the English turn. Another fantastic turn by the English. And let me just make sure I've got this all down. I don't want to forget this. All right, here we go. Whoops, so it's a 6 for 4 turns. English with King's Heart for luxuries. All right. It's not super important to record everything, but some of the stuff I just want to be able to reference a long time from now. It'll be fun to look back on. And there's going to be a lot of firsts in the first, 10 turns or so. But anyway. That was quick, because the Vikings are up next, and they might settle a home island here, I think. I think they're going to. Let me just make sure I've got... Yeah, so the Khartoum does have an explorer, longship horde, and crew killing. Oh yeah, she signaled to Frost that she was going to explore this island. They can barely see one to the south, and then they see the one to the north. So with 2 wild islands pretty close by, the Vikings feel decent about making this their home island. So they're actually going to move the Khartoum to the south side, and then using helmsman and explorer, she's going to dock and explore this island for the Vikings. So they're going to put their crew token there. So the Vikings have a home island as well now, and we're going to see what the Khartoum got with the UT hull. And it looks like I've got Ruins of Wealth, which is a weird one, Abandoned Shipwright, and Dead Man's Chest. So those are pretty solid. Oh, this is the OE version, not the POTC version. Okay, that's cool. Can shoot at submerged ships with an Esper. That's good. The Shipwright is cool. I think I'm just going to use that as a crew, basically. Which means it takes up space and counts against the build total, I'm pretty sure. I think they're just going to dump him on the island. I think he might kind of get abandoned again, actually, because I don't think they're going to take him on the trips to the islands. So he's going to be kind of abandoned, but at least he's on a home island now. They've established a settlement, I suppose you could say. Ruins of Wealth takes up a cargo space. When ship has reached your cargo capacity, roll a d6. Replace value of each non-unique treasure. That's a rules mess, especially with the resources. So it's loaded face up. Oh, this is a nightmare. So I have to take it. That's just ugly. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I guess I'll, when she docks home with resources, that's when it will come into effect. I guess I'll replace the current value of the resources as soon as she docks. So they might try to time it if the resources are only worth 1. I don't know. It's going to be weird. But anyway, it's just going to be kind of a future situation that I'll figure out. Shouldn't be too bad, but... And what? Oh, Dead Man's Chest. Okay. Alright, so that's solid haul. All 3 are positive UTs. The Vikings aren't too unhappy about that. Ruins of Wealth is just kind of annoying. It's just not a good Ruins UT. It's not fun or all that interesting. And it could be bad, because you could have good coins and then you could roll a 1. So it's really not a very wealthy UT, I guess. But anyway, so the Frost goes due north, pretty much. And now I'm on to Dutch. I think I only have 10 minutes left. Yeah. Might not get to the next curse turn, but oh well. Especially if there's another home island discovery. But the ship is going to keep going due south. What does she see down there? Alright, not a lot, really. Okay. Yeah, the southeast corner is not too busy. I purposely did that because the map is the same size as CG4, but CG4 has the turbulence in the southeast area of the map. So, okay. The Dutch are mostly sailing west and north for the most part, and they see this island, but like I talked about last turn, they don't really like the thought of that becoming their home island, so they're not going to bother with that. Whoops. I moved an extra segment, but it's only S. She doesn't have any cargo. Wait, it's only 4 points? Okay. Oh, nice. Alright. Thought it was 5. But anyway, the Dutch still don't have a home island despite having 5 ships. And the Corsairs, the Pharaoh's Legacy, as she approaches this island, she can kind of see that it's got fog on one side, which is not really advantageous at all. 2 fog banks actually connected. So the Corsairs strike out again. So they've found 2 islands, but they don't like either of them as home island locations. So they're still in sight of each other. So I think the Tangier is actually going to signal to the Pharaoh's Legacy right now that she's probably going to go through the whirlpool. So kind of a fragile ship to send through, and she doesn't make it this turn. But the Tangier can hardly see anything beyond her. She can kind of see that island, maybe the one northwest of her, but she's gonna go through the whirlpool and see where she ends up, basically. So. And then, so that leaves me with the Jade Rebellion here, and they're also just sailing. So maybe I will get to the next curse turn. Maybe I'll try to hurry up a little bit. And these factions are not going to discover home islands right now. They're just, oh wait, she only has 2 S's this turn. Alright. So the Sea Panda does see an island, so she might, that one looks a little more suitable than either of these other 2 that have reefs around them. So, and then the Tiger Lily isn't really finding much land either. So, at least not they would want to explore. Okay, so here we go. Hoya Briante is going to continue. She gets plus S with a captain, yep. Okay. But the real interesting part here is the Spanish and the pirates can basically see each other. So, they have not had a friendly history in my games, to say the least. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. This does look like a pretty good home island location. And the Pacifica is not with an S, so she can't use the S Explorer ability to mark it explored. That kind of opens the door for the pirates. And now the genie is going to loom large. This is going to be kind of funny. Alright, that finishes up the Spanish turn, and the pirates are up next, which means the Lost Genie of Arabia get to roll for his faction. Ooh, so he changes factions. That's not good for the pirates at all. So, I think I might make it on a 1 to 3, but for next turn. I don't like this, so I'm going to change this right now. Because you always want to, I don't know why I made it high rolls. That doesn't make any sense. So, because if you have the crew, you'd want to roll high to keep it the same faction. So, like the pirates. So I'm gonna change. I gotta change that in the spreadsheet before I forget. Let me just go and do that real quick. So this is another good example of a live custom change. Like I said, I'm not changing it for this turn. That would be obviously massively biased towards the pirates. I'm not doing that now. But for next turn, you know, you should want to roll high in this game. That's why I'm also using the whirlpool house roll, where if you roll 1 through 3, that causes damage on a whirlpool, not the 4 to 6 roll. So anyway, let me just fix something here on my end. And then we get to Brigand's Nation, who's moving 3 S's just like the Pacifica. So both factions are like right near this island, but neither can get to it this turn. I may even have a rules question with the S Explorer ability on the Pacifica. So the pirates and the Spanish are the first factions to see each other and kind of meet. So at this point, they're not really talking to each other, but they're almost within hailing distance, kind of, I suppose. So next turn will be even more interesting in terms of that dynamic. But now I go to the Americans, who have the anchor right near this island. So I don't know. And the anchor can't see anything, any land north of her. And the deceptive bounty tells her that she signals that there's not much land to the south either. So the Americans are probably going to pass on that island for now. But we can kind of see that there's islands to the east and southeast. So the Americans actually might make that their home island at some point, but I think for now they're going to pass on it this turn. Kind of like the pirates not long ago, earlier tonight. And then the Stellar is kind of just, she's off on her own, southeast. Not really seeing much either. Well, she spots an island there, but that's pretty far away from the pirates. Wow. Nice. Alrighty, let me see how much time. I got 4 minutes left. So, I don't know why it says I'm not signed in. It doesn't make any sense, but oh well. Alright, so starting turn 5, I guess. Hopefully that's right. That's what I'm trusting for now. And then I need to change the resource counter to a 3. So that's what I'm going to do here. So 3 turns left until the next resource change. And then I really want to get to the cursed, so I might just go past an hour to get to that. But let me just do the French turn real quick. So this ship here sees the island past the Sargassos, but the Unicorn Pearl doesn't like the location at all, so she's going to continue south pretty much. Did I mess up the speed on this one? Hang on a minute. I thought she had S plus S speed. Oh, wow. Alright, she has to go back 2 S's. Because last turn and this turn I moved her 4S. I thought she had... Yeah, I guess I misread it or something. I thought she had 3S speed and a helmsman, but 2S. So I took the helmsman bonus away, or the mistaken bonus away from the last 2 turns. Now I'm on to their other ships. And the Bijou de Newt Night Jewel is quite interested in this island here. The French like the location. It's not right near the edge. Only concern is that they're not really finding much other land right around here. So they're not enthralled with the location. They just find it kind of intriguing. So they're just gonna scout out more before they make a decision, of course. And now I get to the cursed. So this will be the last faction turn, which is perfect. So then I'll leave off down the English, which is who I started with tonight. So that's cool. All right. So this is what I really wanted to get to. So I'm happy to be doing the cursed 5th turn here. So the Wisp is going to explore. She's got, let me just make sure I'm not messing up any UTs. So she has Cross Coronado, Plague, and then Barrel of Monkeys. But that's when the ship leaves a wild island. So Barrel of Monkeys might come into play next turn. But for now, it's all about what she can find, if I can find her. Oh, there she is. Alright. So the Wisp explores this island. I think I forgot to put some tokens on islands too, so I might have to go back and do that. The cursed, I usually use the dark purple color. Or actually, I guess there's only one purple. But anyway, it looks a little darker once you put it on the map, I guess. Actually, yeah, this is tough, because I gotta figure this out. I think I want that. Dark gray would work too. I usually do black for the pirates. I don't know if the mercenaries, they probably won't need one, but white. Alright, whatever. I'll just do purple for now and see if I have to change it later on. So I'm going to roll for the resource first. And a 2 comes up. So that's decent. And it's been a while. Well, not too long, but I can't even remember all the resource. Luxuries, or lumber is 1. Textiles is 2. So textiles is found by the Wisp on the Wild Island. That's worth 3 gold apiece right now. So the Wisp only has 1 cargo space open, so just keep that in mind. But it's really cool that the Curse were able to explore an island so far from their home island already. they might try to launch more fog hoppers soon and get like a quick trading empire without even having to sail around the map. Alright, this will be fun. I got 2 custom UTs, Adrift, John's Cutlass, and then Manawa no Kotatsu. So, if there's no, yes, that's what will apply here. If there's no crew on the ship when this treasure is loaded, this treasure is ignored. So, I guess I'll just put it back on the island, because I don't want to eliminate it. So now the curse know that the Heart of Stone, Manawa no Kohatsu, is on that island. And now I'm finally getting some lag. Module is totally frozen up when I'm trying to put the UT here. Hopefully it'll come back soon. Let's go to a different window. Oh, looks like I'm back. Alright, that's good. Yeah, once in a while there's lag. You probably wouldn't experience lag because most people don't play games anywhere near this size. And even just the terrain and islands alone make the file size a lot bigger. So that's kind of cool. The Heart of Stone has a connection to Wraith, and the Curse just found it. That's Wraith's faction. So John's Cutlass. I can't remember if that's from Xerix, I think, but anyway, I'll have to look it up. There's so many custom ETs from so many different sets here. John's Cutlass, if this ship wins a boarding party, eliminate all the other ship's cargo. That's devastating. That's amazing for the Curse, because they've got like switchblades and multiple 10 masters. They like that one a lot. They're going to use that. Ooh! Oh my god! Adrift. All islands become unexplored. If used in an economy game, which this is, all resources are reset. Oh my god. Oh boy. So, okay. That one is definitely from Xerix. I don't even know what to say. I will say I'm glad I found it early because this would be really annoying to go through all the islands and figure it all out if all the islands had already been explored or something like that. So Drift, so that one I'm going to put in the top left corner, and I'm going to apply the effect in a second here. But the Wisp, I would say the Wisp was able to load one, I can't remember, Textiles, that's what it is. She has 2 cargo, no crew. She lost her Explorer to the Plague. So she has Cross Coronado and Textiles take up cargo space. Oh god, she's gonna have to get the Barrel Monkeys next turn. Oh my god, I gotta remember that. I think I'm gonna put this next to the Wisp. So John's Cutlass joins the Plague. So I guess the monkeys don't die from the Plague, I suppose. Not yet, at least, right? Make a house rule. Okay, so she's way down there. I'm just putting Barrel Monkeys, like, next to the ship so I remember to apply it next turn. That's just what I'm doing. Then I'm going to zoom out a couple times. I'm going to put Adrift in the top left, and then I have to mark the islands unexplored. So the island that the Spanish explored is now not explored. And same with, I mean, home islands, it doesn't matter. It's not going to change that. But it will change the English as well. The Vikings aren't quite to their island. So the English island is marked unexplored, and the luxuries are already gone. They get blown up. So that island is up for grabs in terms of resource value. So that'll be reset. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So Adrift is discovered really early on, and therefore doesn't really have much of an effect. If anything, the English might like that. Although the resources are going to change soon, so whatever. So anyway, we'll see if it has any long-term effects. Probably not, but anyway. So I guess that wraps up the Wisp's very active turn. She had a fun one. And then to finish up the cursed turn and part 7 of the hourly campaign in general, they're going to finish their move actions. Defeated Killness is going to go past this fog bank on the north side. Opal Shrine is going to dock at that island next turn, and Death Lullaby is going to conduct her own exploration options right there. And that pretty much wraps this up. So let me just make sure I write down. I went a little over on time, but it was worth it to play the cursed turn. So if I'm still in the middle of a faction turn, I'm just going to finish it. Other times I might actually stop early because I stopped late this time, or if I know a turn will take 20 minutes, I might stop at 55 minutes or whatever. So English are the faction I left off on, and that pretty much does it for the first, at least, sort of. So first faction meeting, Spanish and pirates, and then we don't know what's going to happen with that. They see each other, but we don't know how that's going to turn out. So that'll be interesting to see. That'll be next time in part 8, which should be this month as well. Should also be in November, but it won't be for at least 6 days, if not 7 or more probably. So anyway, that wraps up part 7. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.